Dear students of HSC class in Rajshahi College, particularly the students of class 12 who are newly promoted to the new class after an online examination for the class promotion. Today we have started taking the classes scheduled for class 12 course for the academic session 2020 and 21. So, on behalf of the teachers of English department in Rajshahi College, I welcome you all to the English classes that we will be taking from now on. At the same time, I advise you all to attend the classes regularly so that there is a regularity, a regularity can be maintained by the learners for their better understanding of the subject. According to the curriculum designed by the National Textbook Board of Bangladesh, the English second paper syllabus for the students of higher secondary class aims at providing the required knowledge and techniques of using English in everyday correspondence, in studies, in academic activities of the learners. But there are certain problems in developing the English skill among the students in Bangladesh. As a result, even doing very good results in the academic examinations, the students often fail to justify their English skill in different occasions. With a view to solving this problem, the new syllabus for class 12 students will help the students develop their communicative skill, keeping the language standard and their expression well in the everyday correspondence in the communication with others. Well, possibly you have already learnt about the items what are there included in the in the class 12 syllabus for English compulsory second paper. Usually in Bangladesh, all second papers in all subjects are taught in class 12, and in your class we will discuss the items that are in class 12 that are in English compulsory second paper syllabus. And now I am giving you a brief idea about the items that are in the syllabus of English compulsory second paper. We will have a number of grammar items, freehand writing, freehand composition, then we will have letters, or email or application writing, dialogue, writing, it, etc. Of course, we will start our class 12 academic activities with the discussions on the grammatical items. Among the grammatical items, we will discuss in the online classes the use of verbs, in the examination you will be asked to write the right forms of verbs in certain sentences. You will be asked to change sentences in different forms or structures. You will be asked to change the narrative form of speech. And you will also be asked to use appropriate prepositions and articles. Also, there will be questions on the use of pronouns, properly, use of connectors, and punctuation marks, etc. Among the items I have shown on screen on the whiteboard, we will discuss mainly the use of verbs, sentence transformation, narration of speech, use of pronouns properly, and use of connectors, also punctuation marks. And you need to study a lot of English sentences to identify the proper prepositions, the use of prepositions and articles properly in English sentences. Therefore, let us go for our item-wise discussions. The first thing today I will discuss the use of verbs in the introductory class of English compulsory second paper. Well, very few learners or students in Bangladesh know the nature or structure of verbs in English sentences, which results in the error in interpretation and understanding and expression of English sentences correctly, rightly, or in a grammatically correct form. Therefore, it is very much important for the students to know different types of verbs in order to use them in the sentences properly. One thing to be remembered always is that verbs are the backbone of English sentences. You may have a sentence without any other parts of speech or phrase, but without a verb, you do not have, you cannot make a sentence. And with a single verb, you can make a sentence. For example, if you say go, this go, a single word makes a complete sentence in the imperative form. I think you know classification of sentences in accordance with their meaning and sense. The single word go itself can make a sentence. Thus, we sometimes tell that we do not have, we have subjects, verbs and objects in a sentence. In fact, this is a wrong view that the students of Bangladesh learn since their beginning of English language learning. In the next class, I will discuss different units in a sentence, and you will see that other than subject, verb, and what type of verb, that is another question. What type of verb is essential in a sentence? I will discuss the things in this class, and I will discuss the other units in a sentence or parts in a sentence in the next class, and you will see that other than the subject, the verb, and the object, there are a number of other parts which usually make English sentences. Now, in today's class, unfortunately, because of the technical error and problem, we have lost a number of moments fixed for this class. So we will have to make the class concise, and in this concise delivery, I will discuss different types of verbs used on the basis of their use in English sentences. If I ask my students in the class, whenever I ask my students in my classroom about the classification of verbs, students can tell me a number of verbs such as the main verb or finite verb, non-finite verb, transitive verb, intransitive verb, auxiliary verb, etc. and etc. But very few can give me the proper definition and can tell me the proper use and function of these verbs in English sentences. In this class, I will introduce you to the different types of verbs used in the English sentences. You need to know, a learner of English language need to know the proper use of the verbs for the construction of sentences or for understanding the English sentences, for the grammatically accurate correspondence and communication, expression or understanding the sentences they read or hear. So, let us see what are the basic classifications of verbs. In English sentences, we will get primarily three distinctive types of verbs. On the basis of their function in English sentences, we will have finite verb, non-finite verbs, and also we will have auxiliary verbs. These are the three fundamental or basic types of verbs. Whatever a verb is there in an English sentence, the verb must be classified in either of the three types I have just written on the whiteboard. Before giving you the definition of the verbs in different types, let us see their use in English sentences. Look at the sentence I write on the board. Taking tea, the man came here. Or taking tea, the man had come here. Look, in the first sentence or sentence number 1, taking tea, the man came here, we have two verbs, taking and came. If I ask you the form of the verb used in the sentence taking, the form of the verb taking as used in this sentence, you cannot determine its tense form because the word taking usually does not belong to any known form of tenses in English language. You know, in English language there are 12 forms. There are 3 types of tenses, and each of the tenses has 4 forms, and thus in English language verbs have 12 tense forms. Came is in the past indefinite form. The verb come has been used in this sentence in the past indefinite form, but the verb take is not used in either of the 12 forms. Simply I note there, I note came as a verb in tense form, and the verb taking in as a verb without tense form. And you see, both of the verbs taking and came, one used in a tense form and the other used without any tense form, have their specific functions in the sentence. So we may have in the sentence in English, we may have verbs in English sentences with their functions and with or without their tense form. And in the second sentence, the verb take is used in a similar way. Taking here is again used without any particular tense form, without any form among the 12 tense forms, but the verb come is used in the tense form with the help of the verb had. This had helps to determine the tense form of the verb come. So, come has its tense form and had helps to determine the tense form of come. So we have three types as well, and had does not have any individual or independent function in this sentence. Had is used here only to determine the tense form of the verb come. I repeat, had in this sentence has been used only to determine the past perfect form, past perfect tense form of the verb come in this sentence. Thus, we have three types of verbs. We have the use of three types of verbs in the sentences I have discussed. One type of verb having function and a tense form. We also have verbs having function not in any tense form, and we also have verbs having no individual, no function, no independent, we should rather say no independent function. Having no independent function only used to determine the tense form of a functional verb. We have three types of verbs, which in the first group we have the verbs which have function and tense form. We have second types of verbs which have function in the sentences but they are not used in any tense form. And thirdly, we have different types of verbs which do not have any independent function, only used to determine the tense form of a functional verb. The first category of verbs are called finite verbs. That is, each and every finite verb must have both function and a tense form. Non-finite verbs are used to determine an independent function, but the function must not be in the in any of the 12 tense forms. And finally, we also have the verbs that do not have any independent function and are used only to determine the tense form of a functional verbs. Sometimes students at elementary level get confused with the identity of the to be verbs, to have verbs and to do verbs, whether they are finite or auxiliary when they are used in the sentences. You have to determine you have to always bear in your mind that finite verbs are functional. Finite verbs have their independent function in English sentences. Finite verbs do not help any other verb to determine its tense form. But auxiliary verbs are used to determine the tense form of a finite verb. In other words, without the existence of a finite verb, we cannot define a verb used as an auxiliary. Let us see the use of such type of verbs creating complexity among the learners. We will have three types of verbs used both as finite and auxiliary in English sentences. For example, when I write, I do this job, this do not help. This do does not help any other verb to determine its tense form. Therefore, this do is an auxiliary verb. But when I write such a sentence, I do not do this. I do not do this. This do is used as an auxiliary verb and this do is a finite verb. Let me make the use more clear by using this do verb as an auxiliary with a different finite verb. He did not do is used in the past form. He did not come. This did is an auxiliary verb and come is the finite verb. But when we write I did this, this did does not help any other verb, any finite verb to determine the finite verb's tense form. Therefore, this did is presented in the presented as the finite verb in the sentences. A similar complexity exists in the use of verb to do and verb to be and to have. When I write I am poor, this poor do not help, this poor does not help any other finite verb to determine its tense form. Therefore, this am is a finite verb. But when the same verb is used with a finite verb, such as in the sentence, I am working now. Am functions as the auxiliary verb of the finite verb working to determine the finite verb works being in the present continuous form. Similarly, when we write they are sick or he was happy, both are and was are used as the finite verbs in these sentences. But when we have the use of verb in a sentence like this one, they are reading or he was crying. These are or was are used as auxiliary. These are and was are used as finite. And thus we have learnt the use of finite verbs and auxiliary verbs. We have 4 types of auxiliary verbs that are always used with a finite verb. Types of auxiliary verbs are like this one: to be, as we know, am, is, are, was, were, be. We have to do verbs which are function as do, does, did. we also have to have verbs, has, has, have, had, and we have the modal auxiliaries such as can, may, ought to, need, need not, help, cannot, but, etc. These are used as auxiliary verbs with finite verbs in different sentences. So, we have so far discussed two types of verbs. One is the finite verbs. Finite verbs means the verbs which have both function and tense forms in a sentence. We have auxiliary verbs which are used to determine the tense form of a finite verb in an English sentence or clause. And finally, we have a third type of verbs called non-finite verbs, which have their functions in English clauses and sentences, but are not presented in either of the 12 tense forms. Well, possibly you have noticed that I have uttered the words sentences and clauses. What is the difference between sentence and clause? One finite verb makes one clause in a sentence. Therefore, two finite verbs make two clauses in a sentence. And similarly, three or four finite verbs make three or four clauses in a sentence. Thus, the number of finite verbs determine the number of clauses in a sentence, and in English language we have the sentences with a single clause or finite verb as well as with more than one finite verb or one clauses. Thus, finite verb is also important to determine the number of clauses in a sentence and to identify the clauses in a sentence differently in to understand the sentence properly, interpret the sentence properly. Similarly, when one speaks something or writes something in English, he also needs to construct the sentences with the appropriate use of verbs, finite verbs, to determine the idea in the clauses, to build up a unit of expression. In fact, clauses are defined as the primary units of some expression. Thus, clauses are very much important to know, and the simple thing is that a finite verb makes a clause. Wherever there is a finite verb, that is a clause. And at the beginning, I told you that a single word like go or run can make a sentence, because in the imperative form, go or run function as the finite verb, and thus go and run, only a single word can make a sentence. If necessary, we use adverbs with the finite verb in the imperative sentences. Go there or run in the moon. Both are imperative expressions with adverbial and finite verb. They are both there, and in the noon are adverbials used with the finite verbs. Anyway, in the next class I will discuss adverbials. Today I will confine my discussion only in the discussion on different types of verbs. And we have a third type of verb, non-finite verbs. Yes, as I told you that there are verbs which are functional without a tense form. Of course, in a clause there must be a finite verb. As I told earlier, I am repeating, without a finite verb we cannot make a clause, let alone an English sentence. I repeat, without a finite verb we cannot make a clause, let alone an English sentence. So, in a clause we have one finite verb, and sometimes we may or may not have one or more non-finite verbs. In a clause we always have a finite verb with or without non-finite verbs. What are different type of non-finite verbs? Present participle. We have three types of non-finite verbs: present participle, past participles, and infinitives. As I have told you, in a clause there must be a finite verb there must be at least one, there must be a finite verb in a clause. We can call the non-finite verbs as the secondary verbs. in a clause. I repeat, non-finite verbs can be defined as secondary verbs in a clause without a tense form. If there is a verb in a tense form, then the verb itself makes another finite verb in a sentence, and the number of clauses in the sentence increases because of the increase of the number of finite verbs. Anyway, I think there is another class after this one, and because of some technical problems, we could not start this class in time. Therefore, at the beginning I told you that we may have to reduce the time of this class into a concise one, and I wanted to discuss the use of the non-finite verbs in this class, but this will take a little bit longer time to discuss the non-finite verbs properly, elaborately, and understandably. So I am leaving the discussion of the non-finite verbs for our next class on the 10th of this month. I will take the second class for the students of class 12, and in that class I will discuss the use of non-finite verbs in English sentences. One thing you must remember, that the grammatical rules are related. The grammatical rules in English language are interrelated. Therefore, missing one items of learning means the possibility of bearing the wrong message in your learning. Thus, I will advise you to follow the classes regularly, to follow the aspects of language building I discuss in the online classes for you, and I hope your English skill will develop in the days to come, and thus you will be benefited, and a good skill in English, a good command in English will help you not only to get good marks in the upcoming HSC examination, but also it will help you to use of English in your future life. Whenever you will be a worthy citizen, you will need to make correspondence in English, and appropriate and the knowledge of the appropriate use of English vocabulary depends on the skill in grammar. There are a confusing term confusing view used popularly in this world, in the world today, that grammar is not important, or one does not need to know grammar for English communication. This is a fatal conception that the learners sometimes believe in. Unless you do not use the words properly, verbs properly, and other parts of speech or things properly, it is not possible to make a comprehensible correspondence communication. So I hope and advise that you will try to follow the lectures from these lectures in these online classes, so that you can make amendments of the errors you have so far learned or bearing in your mind. I will show some of the common errors that are established in the mindset of our learners, which make a create a problem in using English language properly in the communication. Let us wait for the next and upcoming classes. Till then, I wish you a happy and good time. Take care, stay home. Thank you all. Khuda Hafiz for today.